Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again for some more Lost Eidolons. Now, a viewer has asked me to comment on changes since the playtest, so I'm going to comment on some right now. In the previous encounter, in the previous episode, I mentioned that there has been a change to monster weak points. Previously in the playtests, destroying a weak point meant that weak point was gone for the rest of the battle. Whereas now destroying a weak point just means it's gone for the rest of that turn, and it'll be back next turn. Let's talk about another change. When we got back to camp, we noticed a lot of classes had unlocked for characters. So as we see now, the Squire class is available for Eden. I can literally change class right here, right now. I can also hold an advancement ceremony to change class. Previously, during the playtests, you had to hold the advancement ceremony if you wanted to change class to a class the character had not been before. You could change back to any class they'd previously been without having to hold an advancement ceremony. But to get into a new class, you had to hold an advancement ceremony to unlock it. Now, simply returning to camp unlocks it, so I can unlock classes right here, right now. I think this first time I will hold an advancement ceremony though, just so you can see it, and then I'll probably never do it again. Additionally, we can view the class tree, and we can see all the different classes. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, because there's going to be enough to do in camp as it is, but you'll notice that as we go down the tree, classes become color-coded. We have blue down this side, we have green here, we have purple down here, red classes here, and then a kind of a lapis lazuli or turquoise color over on the side here. And this does represent a general overall theme. This class only Eden can have. Now on the class tree, we can look at a class. We can see exceptional mastery, a bonus skill they do particularly well in. Class skills that we'll gain for advancing in that. The level requirement, that's new. Classes did not previously have a level requirement. And also we see a point in the story when classes will unlock. Again, previously during the playtests, we weren't able to change classes until Chapter 4. But we could make the requirements for these classes a little bit earlier, because of these skill requirements. Classes have skill requirements. And then we have stat adjustments. Now, changing class from Commoner, which just gives 4 movement, to Squire for Eden, which will give 1 health, 2 strength, 1 defense, 4 dexterity and 4 movement, does not seem to give me an additional 4 movement, so it would appear that we gain the stat adjustments from the current class we are in, and then if we leave we don't keep them, we just get the adjustments from the new class we go to. So it's nice to be able to see all the class requirements and plan towards a particular class in the future. We have discovered a new item, a pair of lucky earrings which give +5 luck. Now, luck isn't shown on the character sheet anymore, but it seems to modify guard, critical defense and critical hit. I'm going to give them to the noblewoman, because she is the most likely to have pierced ears and the most likely to be accustomed to such items. There we go. And that has modified her critical hit, critical defense and guard chances by 1 or 2 points each. As we see, she's unlocked the mage class, which will also unlock a new spell. The 2 side quests we completed in the last chapter are now marked as completed. And we have things that go bump in the night. Talk to Francisco. I'd like to read a couple of lore entries just to get on top of things, and also now, Sarah has a rapport rating. I'm not sure that gaining a very high rapport rating with Sarah will allow her to join us in battle, but it might unlock some kind of special happy ending for her at the end of the story, which would be nice. You know, she deserves something good. But since I have a limited amount of times I can increase rapport with party members over the course of the game, maybe I should focus on recruitable characters and ones who are already part of the company. Right, I think I'll read of the two sisters. A young woman from Luneta who recently became one of Eden's most interesting clients. Orphaned by war at a young age, Sarah was forced to grow up quickly in order to care for her younger sister Andrea, the only family she had left. To make ends meet, Sarah took to any work she could find. One day, while working as a farmhand, she happened upon a wounded traveller. As she nursed him back to health, she gradually fell in love with his gentle heart and tales of travel across Artemesia. The two were soon wed, and it seemed as if Sarah's shattered family had become whole once more. But fate had other plans. Lord Rodrigo of Luneta, spurned by Sarah and outraged at her betrothal, arranged to have her husband killed. Fearing that her sister could be next, Sarah reluctantly conceded to Rodrigo's advances while seeking a way to move against him, such as recruiting the help of a kind-hearted local mercenary. Now indebted to Eden, she has sworn to aid him as a rebel, albeit not directly on the battlefield. Now, unless these update, I think that's a pretty final indication that she will not fight. And in fairness, I'm not sure she has the heart for it. But she means well and she wants to help out. She also has a sister. Where are we? There we are. A hard-hearted hunter from Luneta. Robbed of her parents at a young age, Andrea remembers very little of the world before the Empire, and has developed a thick skin in response to a difficult life. She has a sharp tongue, no patience for injustice, and a heart that's closed to everyone save her sister Sarah. Though the two rely on one another, they often disagree, and Sarah's stoic facade infuriates Andrea to no end. Recently, Lord Rodrigo of Luneta had Sarah's husband murdered in an attempt to get closer to her. Yeah, I think we know how that worked out for him. To protect Andrea, Sarah acceded to his wishes. Andrea, on the other hand, tried to murder him. After winding up in prison, she soon met a certain young mercenary and her life took a new turn. Now a proper rebel, Andrea at last has an outlet for her fury and lives to see other contemptible men of power laid low. Yet still she holds Sarah's life above all else and would happily kill the Emperor himself to protect her sister. So perhaps she would be interested in gifts full of man-hating misandry, or just gifts espousing the common folk and maybe mocking the nobles in some way slightly. Let's read of Eden as well, just to help knock this number down a bit. This looks like an endgame suit of armour, probably for one of the two classes that are recommended for him. I'll get onto that in a little bit as well. If those who knew Eden were asked to describe him in a few words, most would confidently call him their best friend. Hailing from Luneta, Eden is a kind and charming mercenary, a stark contrast from the usual stereotype for those in his line of work. Ever the charitable soul, he has built a reputation for helping those in need without heed for pay or lack thereof. As a result, he is widely beloved in his hometown. Yet for someone so popular, little is known about the circumstances of his birth, including by Eden himself. Oh god, don't tell me he's an heir to the throne. Yeah, that makes sense. That way he could become emperor or king or something. Supposedly, he first arrived in Luneta years ago, just another penniless street urchin, orphaned by war. As fate would have it, he was adopted by Leon's parents, who raised him as if they were as if he was their own blood and laid the foundations for their lifelong friendship. Though a spark of ambition burns within him, Eden's priority most of the time is simply to protect his friends, pay forward the kindness others have shown him, and hopefully earn some drinking money in the process. Now, as I mentioned, there is a matter of recommended classes. Let's go back to Eden. Every character has 2 recommended classes with a special bonus they get for entering into that class. So Eden for Overlord would gain Shield Smash. If he went to Templar, he'd gain Blessing of Light. Whereas, if Robert goes into Templar, he would gain Shield of Light, which is a different ability. Some characters share bonuses. Here we have Assault Tactics and Finishing Blow, but we have Goading Attack and a Vanguard. No. So it's Ambush Tactics if Leon goes into Assassin. Honed Arrow if Robin goes into Ranger. And then Andrea gets Honed Arrow and Raid Tactics if she goes into Ranger or Assassin as well. So not all of these recommended class benefits are unique, but they add a little bit of extra flavour. Now, when it comes to actual classes, everyone can go into every class. Eden could go into Ranger, but he wouldn't get the Honed Arrow ability because it's not one of his class affinities. Now, let's see what the attendant wants over here. And I see Leon over there waiting to speak as well.
Sir, any information I can provide?
Work needed now. Armor troops. Armor and weapons. Sure. Leveling troops.
I guess first-hand combat experience is the only way our troops can get stronger.
Fundamentally, yes, but it'll also be up to you to oversee their growth and training. You'll need to make sure each soldier gets a chance to shine on the battlefield. Once they've gained some experience, you can assign them roles that suit their natural talents. It's also important that everyone hone their mastery of specific weapons. Good fundamentals are the only way to unlock a soldier's full potential.
Sounds like a long road ahead.
Characters grow by accruing overall experience, class experience and mastery in battle. Over time, their stats will increase and they'll obtain new skills and abilities that make battles easier. A character's level will increase as they gain experience points. Increasing a unit's level will increase their base combat stats. Meanwhile, they'll also be gaining class experience, unlocking unique skills along the way. Maxing out a given class will unlock its capstone skill. Doing so with higher level classes will also increase the cap on related weapon masteries. Every character has various mastery levels with specific weapons and armor. Gaining mastery with these tools will unlock additional skills. Ordinary mastery caps out at 10. However, higher level classes have exceptional mastery in specific categories, increasing the cap to 15. Finally, characters all have unique proficiencies with certain weapons and armor. As they achieve specific level thresholds, their potential will reveal itself and proficiencies will unlock.
Sir, any information I can provide?
I appreciate your help.
Thanks for the advice. We'll talk again soon.
So I think previously this would unlock an advancement ceremony right now. Where is Francisco as he wants to speak to us? He is just over there. Okay, well we can go talk to Leon first then, can't we? As he's just over here. We may end up being sent back to speak to him soon anyway.
Hey,
Francisco might send us back here, so I'm not going to
thanks.
bring that up just yet. Let's jog over there and see what he wants then. Now, usually he's in a bit more of a central position. He's a bit far out here.
How's it going?
What's the extent of the damage on our end?
Not bad. Lucky for you, I was here.
Yeah, alright. Finish up and get some sleep, Francisco. You can brag all you like tomorrow morning.
Seriously though, it's a good thing everyone was awake. You might not get so lucky next time, Cap. We ought to think about preparing better.
Alright, I hear you. I'm going to go check in with Leon.
Ask him about what I said. Oh, and ask if he saw my moves out there.
Sure thing.
There we go. So we're being sent back to Leon anyway. Which means I'm kind of glad I didn't speak to him first. A refugee here to speak to. Hello, lady. I may have reason to come talk to you soon then, by the look of it. There might be some kind of quest to go speak to people and raise morale around camp.
Hey.
Alright, yeah, so, let's bring this up then first.
Hey, Leon. What do you know about how monsters think?
All I know is how to kill him. To be honest, I've never given it more thought than that. Maybe Robert would know more about it?
Good thinking. I'll go talk to him.
Good call. Hey, we get a side quest. Great. Quick paranoia check. All good. Right, well then.
Hey.
Any thoughts on the fight?
Francisco thinks we got lucky this time. What do you think?
Francisco said that? I mean, he's not wrong, but that's surprising coming from him.
Well, he did spend a few minutes bragging first.
Ah, sounds about right. In any case, we'll need to find a solution.
Alright, let's do this. Double the number of guards, and have the remaining soldiers set up traps and barricades.
All night long?
We can't ask regular folk to do it.
Not yet,
Right.
anyway.
I'll get on it straight away.
I'm counting on you.
He got money and some potions. Great. You know what? Talk to Marshall and Robert. Okay.
Hey.
That was a pretty hectic fight. Seriously. For as many times as we fought hellhounds, that was by far, but yeah, I don't know, the first time was pretty terrifying. Gods, I'd almost forgotten about that. I'll bet it was your fault. We would never have been anywhere near that barn if not for your stupid night patrols. Hey, the Luneta Town Watch Club was a respected pillar of the community. Much more like a bunch of dumb kids in dented helmets. I'll never forget that horse screaming. Thank the gods we managed to get it out. You did, I mean. You mean? All I did was open the stables and run. You're the one who barred the door and set the fire. I was just following your lead. If you hadn't been there, I would have charged in and got myself killed. Guess I have to stick around then. Somebody's got to do your thinking for you.
Well...
No argument there. Alright. I would love to have some of these lesser camp dialogues voiced in future. Seriously, I'd be well up for that. Now, I know voice acting sessions are expensive, and... oh, who's that over there? Someone who wants to talk. We'll head that way in a moment. Maybe if the game does really well, they'll be able to get some of these some more voice acting for some of these camp dialogues. I think they'd have to sell loads of copies and make enough money to... Oh, Robert's over here. That's handy. Great. With Robin. Even better.
Yeah?
Hey, now look, about this, well, you know, monsters.
Say, Robert, do you happen to know anything about hellhounds?
Hellhounds?
Yeah. If we knew more about how they think, it might be easier to run them off in the future.
Let me think. There was a book about monsters I brought with me from Lanetta.
He's lost
It's
it,
been a while
hasn't he?
since I read it, but you're welcome to take a look for yourself. Now, if I could just remember where I put it.
Ah.
Should be around here somewhere.
Great.
I'll help you look.
Fine by me.
Of course. Alright, well, we got a book to find. And Robin here.
Hi there.
Why the long face? Something on your mind, Robin? Oh, hey, Cap.
Oh,
I was just thinking about what you said earlier, about how we might not go back to Lunetta for a while.
my mistake.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring you down. No, it's okay, it's just really starting to sink in. Are you worried? That's an understatement. Monsters we know how to deal with, but all this war and revolution stuff...
Sure.
Yeah, I know, it feels too big for us. I'm more worried about everyone back home, really. Oh, they'll manage, and so will we. One fight at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, of course. Okay, let's see. So we're looking for a book. But Robert's misplaced. It could be anywhere. Although it's likely to be very visible when I get near it. Excuse me, soldier, you keep trying to go through me. Right. And who are you, my fine friend?
Welcome back.
Well, now, here's a new face. Ah, it's a pleasure to meet you, sir. You can call me Porter. Porter, huh? So what's all this you got here? Ah, straight to business. Here's a man who knows what he's after. Oh, that's okay. I was just curious. Oh, come now, don't be shy. This stuff came from all over Benario. Porter's got something for everyone. What's a merchant doing all the way out here? Aren't you worried about monsters? Hey, you know what they say. Everybody's got to eat. Items worth risking your life for? Can't say I'm not curious. You can buy and sell goods at merchant stands. Each time you visit, merchants will have new wares to offer. You may even get a visit from Salma, the rare goods merchant. She is very rare. Right, let's see what Porter has to offer.
Welcome back.
It's all potions, or pouches, so it's all consumables. I see. And how are we doing for, Alright, 1, 2, 3, 6 small recovery potions and a common sword that we could probably sell. Right. 3 small recovery potions. 3 small recovery potions. 3. 3. Just checking if anyone has any. 2. Okay. And 3. So then, we got some here. I think we're good. I don't think I particularly want to sell anything right now.
Many thanks.
This seems to be the area to search for Robert's book, but first of all, there used to be an option to speak to the guard and come here and perform an advancement ceremony. Why is that not available? I don't mind too much because it was a slightly clunky way of performing character advancement.
Sir,
right.
any information I can provide?
Work needed now.
What needs to be done in camp right now?
Right now, this camp has 3 groups. Your mercenary friends, soldiers like me, and all the other refugees from Lanetta. I suggest you try talking to each of them and hearing their concerns.
I see.
The fight's over for the moment, so now's the perfect time to take a breather, update our gear, and improve our skills.
Makes sense to me.
Sir, any information I can provide?
Right now, my priority is looking out for everyone from Lanetta. Any thoughts on how to achieve that?
If we want to survive, our forces have to get stronger. That means each and every one of us. We'll need to seek experience, manage our resources, build rapport, master new classes and skills, and keep up with the latest equipment.
That doesn't really tell me anything new, but alright, noted.
The object of the game is to complete your journey through the story by winning battles, strengthening your troops, and bringing everyone home alive. To accomplish this, you'll need to recruit new units, equip them, unlock classes, and master various skills and spells. Okay.
Sir, any information I can provide?
We picked up some equipment in that last battle, didn't we?
Yes, sir. You can also get new gear from merchants or by helping people around camp. Keeping everyone's arsenal up to date is essential to making sure our troops can survive in battle.
Well, I wasn't expecting a whole lecture, but I guess you're not wrong.
Use Tab to enter the character menu, where you can find the character and equipment tabs. Move between tabs using page up and page down, or just use the mouse and click on stuff, or on the buttons on the left and right. Use Q and E to select a character, or the buttons at the bottom of the screen. Select an equipment slot to open the sub-menu, and select Swap to view all equipment in your inventory. Selecting an empty slot will open the list automatically. Select an item to equip it, and voila! Job done.
Sir, any information I can provide?
Well,
Thanks for the advice. We'll talk again soon.
I think we can skip that advancement ceremony then. Let's just get in there and pick some classes. Nice. And as you see, while they wear the same armor, they have different underlying body shapes, which is nice. So, changing into a new class means we're on a new experience track, gained for that class. It also means now we can equip a new spell, so we have Fireball and Tempest Gust. I can go Pillar of Fire, which is more powerful than our current spells, 3 uses per battle, range 3, so good range. Thunderbolt, range 2, 5 per battle, power 3, so that's kind of on a par with Fireball, but it's lightning, which will be good for puddles. Hydro Bomb will make people wet, fairly low powered. Glacial Gale can freeze people in puddles. So Pillar of Fire is high powered. I'll go for Thunderbolt for now, or the Glacial Gale. These both are relying on water synergy a bit much. I suppose I can use the fire if they're out in the open. I'll go with the thunder. Oops. Also, we have a class upgrade for Marshall. And she can also get a new spell. So we have Healing Touch and Light Arrow. Divine Hand is a protection from magic. Short range protection from magic. We do have a lot of enemy spellcasters. Holy Nova, a higher powered divine magical attack at a good range. We already have Light Arrow, and she's more often healing or using support related ability. Hymn of Healing, greatly healing them. Power 15, oh that's a massive heal that is. Purification, channels the power of light to cleanse all status effects on a single ally, granting plus 10 health for each effect removed. If enemy are using spells that will put effects on people, or if they walk into puddles and stuff, we can benefit from this. Poison is the most obvious one to think of, so I will grab that for now. And then, obviously, Andrea gets her fighter upgrade as well. There we go. And we can look at class requirements anytime we wish. And as we see now, Leon is wearing his new armor already. Now, what could this woman want, since we're looking out for people's interests? Nope, that's all. Right, so clearly we will have reason to be back here this camp already. Maybe it was the next chapter where we got the opportunity to have an advancement ceremony. Oh well, never mind. Right. So Robert was blatantly cooking right here earlier, so it looks like a good place to start our search. Right here, where he was last time. Hellhounds, dogs of war. Hellhounds are stray dogs that have grown vicious and mutated under the influence of mysterious magics. They roam in packs all over Artemesia, consumed by endless hunger, and pose a serious threat to unprepared travellers. When a hellhound meets its prey, it quickly closes distance and attacks with its razor-sharp teeth, yet even wary creatures that attempt to keep their distance are not entirely safe. When necessary, hellhounds can vomit toxic blood to contaminate and disorient prey. When encountering hellhounds in the wild, travellers are advised never to show the creatures their back. The only reliable way to deal with them is head-on, letting steel do the talking. Despite their terrifying appearance and ferocious character, there have always been rumours that the beasts can be tamed if raised from birth. Whether there is any truth to these notions is a hotly debated topic around many a tavern table, but it is certainly true that many enterprising individuals have died trying. And now we have gained a book of Hellhounds, which we've already read, which should also have given us a monstrous studies. That's complete. Unrest in Artemesia. Speak to Marshall. Yep. Hellhound. Stalking the shadows of every lonely road, hellhounds are found all throughout Artemesia and are a chronic source of danger for unprepared travellers. Pack hunters mutated from wild canines. It's speculated that the reason hellhounds outnumber other monsters is yet another consequence of the war, the result of mass civilian casualties leaving masterless pets and hunting dogs to fend for themselves. Despite their horrific appearance, there remain ever-persistent rumours that hellhounds can be tamed if raised from birth. Whether there's any truth to these stories is unclear, though many a compassionate soul has died trying. Let's, since hellhounds are monsters, let's just grab this one as well. You know, trying to whittle down those unlocked entries there. Though the land of Artemesia is more often shaped by the affairs of humanity than it is by the forces of the fantastical, There are still a few myths and legends lurking in the margins of the map, in particular the fearsome monsters that prowl the wilderness between cities and towns. Distinct from normal wildlife, monsters are creatures that have been mutated by the magical effects of soulstone ore, granting them anatomical deformities and unnatural abilities. While most major cities have learned to keep them at bay, monsters plague the countryside, a persistent scourge to travellers, merchants, and those who live in small towns. Prior to the imperial conquest, each of the royal families, with help from the spire and local temples, protected their own lands, carrying out frequent monster exterminations in areas such as the Misty Woods. Under the neglectful rule of a corrupt bureaucracy, such efforts have languished and monsters have flourished like weeds. For those who call small towns like Luneta home, mercenary companies tend to pick up the slack, patrolling the roads and escorting caravans, a steady source of profitable but perilous work. Well then, I don't know if we need to take the book back to... hello, that's a very odd thing on the ground there. I don't know if these two will have anything new to say, but it might be worth checking in on them. But maybe I should just go see Marshall first, because... And she seems to be all the way down over there. Alright, well I'm here now.
Hello. I can't thank you enough.
That was abrupt.
Yeah?
Hi there.
Hey, how are you and Sarah doing after the attack? We'll live. Is there anything you'd need from me? Yeah, better food. Seriously? You asked, I answered. This stuff we're serving now tastes like crap. Robert's doing his best. Things will get better when we get to Castilian. In the meantime, if you don't like the food, you're welcome to grab a ladle and help.
No way.
Screw you! I earned my keep in that fight. So did he. We all did. Yeah, maybe she'll take notice of that. Let's jog on down this way then. See what else we can do in this camp. Looks like there's still potential for conversation over there and over here. For now, though, we're apparently headed in this direction. Maybe Marshall will have us go around and talk to the... Or perhaps one of the side quests from last camp could still have been active, and this would have been my last chance to complete it. There's a thought. I see Leonard. That means Marshall is usually nearby. And there's something here for the taking. Luneta report. Summary of recent events. Task in Luneta failed. Local lord took extreme measures to protect corrupt enterprise. Lady Marshall was jailed but escaped with aid of mercenary leader Eden. This sounds like one of Leonard's reports. Village uprising ensued. Lord was taken captive and executed by a young woman, Sarah, causing new complications. Exercised poor restraint in expressing my anger. Disgraced Lady Marshall. Conclusion. Reflect and seek appropriate means of apology. Summary of present situation. Fugitives en route to rebel camp under mercenary captain Eden, lowborn, no surname. Leadership abilities unclear. Seems immature. That's true. Likewise for his allies, yet cannot argue with their results. Conclusion. Continue observation, attempt to cultivate relationships. Sounds like cultivating relationships might not be Leonard's strong point. Summary of future outlook. Grim. Imperial army remains insurmountable. Open rebellion doomed. Leader Isoro Fenice, likely another fool like Colin Corax, unless concealing unknown advantage. Conclusion. Gather more information. Redouble vigilance for Lady Marshall. There we go. we might be asked to go find that and pick it up.
You place too much faith in the mercenary. The man all but panicked at the aggressions of a few monsters.
I will judge my own company.
Of course.
Now, instead of passing judgment in the absence of information, why don't we focus on obtaining more?
Yes, my lady. I'm still gathering intelligence on both the Empire and Isoro's rebels. I shall report back soon.
I'm counting on you, Leonard.
I will not fail you.
I think there was a way previously to sneak around that way and observe that conversation from this side, or was that a different conversation later on? Anyway, no, I think it might have been a different one. Alright, here we go.
Yes?
My lady.
What's the situation across Artemesia?
How am I even supposed to answer that?
Slowly and from the beginning?
Since the unification, many have been dissatisfied with the Emperor's rule, but until now, few have taken a stand. Recently, the Emperor has vanished from public view.
Wait, really? I thought that was just a rumor.
Who can say? In any case, Prime Minister Morin's reign of terror began soon after, and Colin's Crows took up arms in protest. Others shared their sentiments and followed suit.
That's right. I've heard there are a lot of rebel factions now.
And each with their own agendas. The Crows are popular with the public. Their recruiting efforts have taken the capital by surprise.
So if you were a betting woman, where's the smart money?
Given our situation, it would certainly be to our advantage if Colin's forces were to triumph. But it won't be easy for them.
No surprises there.
Anything else you're curious about?
Yeah, let's ask about Linna's mission in Luneta.
Now that I think about it, Leonard came to Luneta a while before you did, right?
Indeed. That was a favorite tactic of mine as an Inquisitor. Send an agent ahead quietly, get the lay of things, then observe which insects scurry fastest upon your arrival.
I can't decide if that's clever or terrifying.
Both.
I prefer careful.
What kind of person is Isoro?
He's the leader of a new rebel faction slowly expanding its power within Benario. I don't really know much myself, but the rumors say he's a kind and just man.
Let's hope so. We could use some good luck.
We certainly could.
That's all for now. Thanks.
We're not redirected to... Oh, talk to Leonard. Well, guess what?
What is it?
I believe this ring around the edge of the portrait is the approval rating, the rapport, as hers had a little section filled in.
Leonard, wasn't it?
What do you want?
I like to know the people I'm working with. How did you come to serve Marshall?
Some time ago, I was framed for a crime and facing death. It was at that moment when Marshall's younger brother came to my aid. It was his wish that I serve and protect Lady Marshall.
I see. So, where is Marshall's brother now?
You go too far, mercenary.
Alright then. Keep your secrets.
There we go. Rapport increased with Leonard. Great. Organising the troops. That's back to Robert. So, let me see. If this is our advancement ceremony. Could be. You never know. But hey, we found his book, so that's all good. Well, Robert, what do you want?
Yeah?
Seems like we avoided any major damage. Good thing we prepared.
We scraped by, but we can't fight like mercenaries forever. Mopping up monsters and facing down
yes.
trained knights are two completely different things.
Fair enough. If we want Isoro to take us in, we'll need to shape up and become proper soldiers. Can't wing a revolution after all.
Before we get to Castilian, it might be a good idea to assign everyone some more specific roles. If you find what suits each soldier and assign them that specific job, we'll have fewer messy surprises in battle. Once everyone gets the hang of things, we can expand and assign people specialized roles.
That sounds good. Why don't you get everyone together later? Might as well let people know before they get too drunk on victory. Besides, a speech might be good for morale.
Got it. I'll start making preparations.
Great. Thanks.
Okay, well in that case, we just swap a few back to commoners. There we go. Keep going in this direction, it'll be slightly shorter. I knew we'd get there eventually.
Everyone fought well. Those things took us by surprise, but we won without taking many losses. That's thanks to your efforts. Each of you responded quickly and calmly in the heat of battle. Together, I have no doubt we can face whatever lies ahead. However, before we get to Castilian, I have a few announcements to make. No matter how skilled we are, there's a difference between mercenaries and soldiers. If we join the ranks of Isoro's army, we will be mercenaries no longer. That'll mean changes. We'll need to lose some bad habits and get used to doing things in new ways. Our first task is figuring out what each of our specialties are, and what role suits each of us best. We need to determine who's best with each weapon, who belongs in the vanguard, and who brings up the rear. Without further ado, let's start dividing up the roles.
Right. New class unlocked. Eden is unlocked Squire. Francisco has unlocked Squire. Okay. Yep. Go. Okay, so this has been simplified somewhat. This used to be our class changing, like a whole menu would come up and we'd select characters and which class we'd like to take them to. For now though, I appreciate the swifter class switching system. And there we go.
That's a good place to stop for today. Enjoy your rest, everyone. You've earned it.
Hey, what do you think? Like a night right out of a fairy tale, ain't it? Sure, boring and full of yourself. Suits you perfectly. See? That right there's your problem. It's okay to just admit it. You're jealous. Oh, sure. You caught me. I'm dying of envy over here. Hey, I'm a knight now. You'd better start showing me some respect. Yeah, right, you're a squire. Start acting like one and maybe I will. Guess you got me there. Alright then, watch and learn. Francisco the Bold's gonna be the best knight who ever lived. About time you got rid of those rags. Now you just need to bulk up and put on some weight. You sure a scrawny little stick. Hey, this is the size the blacksmith gave me. You think you know better than him? Well, no. I'm just saying, if you're gonna be covering me out there, I don't want your skinny ass, but why do I suddenly have the urge to kick your ass? This new job's rubbing off on me already. Well, congratulations, Leonard. I've been worried your reconnaissance duties were keeping you busy, but here you are, winning glory over... Things are only going to get busier from here. I'm just getting started. Just be careful you don't spread yourself too thin. As the saying goes, more haste, less speed. I have never understood that ridiculous idiom. But I shall take your words to heart. There we are. And rapport increased with Robert. Lovely! Right, let's change those back then. There we go. Alright. So that's all done. And I think we're ready to leave camp with everything done here. What do we got? Leonard's report. Let's read up on Marshall and Leonard before leaving camp. In the Ludivictan Empire, power corrupts and corruption pays. Nowhere is that axiom more on display than among the ranks of the Inquisitors. Mid-level bureaucrats tasked with auditing local officials most earn more in bribes than they draw from their salaries. Then there's Marshall. High-born, educated and deeply principled, Marshall is an excellent administrator, experienced at fighting lopsided battles with little resources or support. But what none could have predicted, including Marshall herself, is just how effective a rebel those skills would make her. Though it's not yet fully clear why Marshall so quickly changed sides, what is certain is that her expertise makes her an indispensable ally. As one of Eden's advisors, Marshall is ready, willing, and able to bring justice to a land sorely in need of it. This looks like another high-end late-game outfit that we'll hopefully gain access to later, so she might be interested in things to do with organization. Military or otherwise. Marshall's stoic bodyguard and personal advisor. In the years following the unification, many families struggled to survive the war's aftermath. When his own family fell on hard times, Leonard was forced to turn to some unsavory characters. Indebted to a criminal syndicate and unable to pay them back, Leonard soon lost those closest to him. In return, he took the syndicate leaders' heads. Sold into indentured servitude as a murderer, his contract was soon purchased by a noble family to act as their bodyguard. Yet when the contract was completed, the family refused to free him. Lacking the resources to challenge him in the courts, it seemed Leonard would be trapped forever until the intervention of a bold young man who would change the course of his life. It was through this individual that Leonard gained his freedom, met Marshall, and attained a new purpose. Yet Leonard's life in La Royere was apparently cut short, rather like his hair. For reasons he and Marshall remain tight-lipped about. Whatever it is that binds the two of them, Leonard has pledged himself to Marshall's service, swearing to stand by her side wherever her path leads. This again looks like a high-end item, and given that Leonard's affinities are Battle Mage and Vanguard, I'd say that could very well be the Battle Mage outfit. And with that, I think we're going to close this one and get ready to leave camp. Now, I have been here quite a while, and it's long enough to make an episode of its own. So that is exactly what I think I'll do. I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, roaming around camp and learning about class structures. And I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'm going to say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.